it's a real trial for us to get older and watch things that we once could do but we can't do now. I had a birthday yesterday, January 13th. I was born in 1949, so that makes me 76. And actually, mentally, most of the time, I feel normal. Physically, though, I can't lift what I used to. I can't climb stairs as quick or smooth as I used to. Um, but more than that, I'm more tired. I'm sharing this because you may share the same um, qualities that I'm sharing here. The thing I've noticed is that my eyesight over the last 5 years has gone from non-restricted to glasses to restricted to glasses. I couldn't even read the first line on the driver's um, um, eyesight that they had me do. I looked at all. I looked at the whole thing. I thought I can't even read the first line on what they want me to read to pass the test, so I wouldn't have to have um, glasses anymore. Okay, that's not a biggie because I always wore glasses anyhow because it made my sight sharper, caused me not to have accidents, things like that. But that doesn't bother me. In the morning, let's talk about how your day is and how my day is. Because if you're close to my age, you, you're either having problems sleeping or you're waking up real often, going to the restroom. Then you find it hard to get back to sleep unless you're taking medication. And I take medication. Cocktail. I won't. I won't go into that unless people ask me to. I take about 4 or 5 different pills, including one prescription, and that's Xanax. So that you'll know, Xanax is a relaxer. They have it categorized as a tranquilizer, and it doesn't always work. 2 milligrams, but I don't do it the way that I should possibly, or maybe there's no should about it. I may break it in half and take half of it, which is 1 milligram, and then break the other 2 parts. See, you can break it into 4 parts if it's a 2 milligram. And each time I wake up to use the restroom, I may take another fourth. So I take a half when I go to bed, and maybe a fourth when I wake up, and then if I wake up again, another fourth. And that works for me. In addition to that, I have over-the-counter medication. They're blue pills, and they're found in things like Sudafed things like Tylenol PM, things like that. So I may take one or two of those along with two Tylenols. I know that sounds like a lot, doesn't it? And then there's two other pills I take that relax me. Magnesium is one, calcium's the other. Those two are known to relax you and help you sleep better. Now, contrary to what you've heard, you may have heard that as we get older, we have less problems sleeping. That's not true. The truth is, as we get older, we have more problems sleeping. So I go to a sleeping doctor, a MD, medical doctor, who talks with me about how my sleep is and prescribes the medication called Xanax. And I look forward to it. I see him every 2 months. So this is separate from my internal medicine doctor, who does not want to prescribe anything that is mood altering. So I had to go to this sleep doctor and pay him in uh, not in cash, but without insurance. It's his. It's his. I want to say his separate job. He's employed by a major psychiatric hospital, and here he charges 100 and for half an hour $110. First session was 220. That was for the assessment, 220. And every 2 months I pay him 110. Am I am I glad? Doesn't bother me at all. Many people can send their send what's called a invoice to their insurance company that will pay them direct a portion or all of the payment. Since I'm on Medicare, that's not the case. But if it was a younger person under 65 that had good insurance, it's called a super bill. You ask your doctor for a super bill, and he prints one up with your diagnosis and how much he charges, and then the the person doesn't have to be on the network. Doctor doesn't have to be on the network. Um, that's the advantage for him or her, and you may or may not be reimbursed. I know people that got reimbursed the whole amount. I got people that didn't, like myself, that doesn't get reimbursed at all. And the reason why is because he had for me to get reimbursed on Medicare, he would have to fill out a different form, and that wasn't our agreement. Our agreement was pay, and he listens to me for a half an hour for $110. Okay, so um, the only reason I'm mentioning this is because if you have sleeping problems, and you probably might eventually as you grow older, don't depend on your current doctor to give you the right medication. And let me tell you why. I had a bag of medication that was prescribed for my sleeping problems by a internist, MD, USA internist. But but he didn't believe, he didn't want to believe that a antidepressant wouldn't help sleep. There might be one person out there listening that takes the antidepressant and gets help sleeping. But I had all sorts of problems I won't go into. Um, I don't want to say they were tragic problems. Sometimes I wouldn't sleep the whole night. Would you call that tragic? Sometimes I would sleep eventually, but when I got up, I'd watch TV, but it was like I couldn't focus. So, antidepressants, if you have a sleeping problems, are not the same as a benzodiazepine. That's a fancy name, or a uh, Xanax, Valium, Klonopin. You just don't want to take too much and you don't want to overdose. What I mean by overdose is take more than prescribed. If you need more than prescribed, you need to tell your doctor, this isn't doing the trick. Can you up it? Can you up it a little bit? My doctor did. We started with 1 milligram of Klonopin, actually, upped it to 2 milligrams of Klonopin, and I noticed one thing, that my tolerance was going up. I wasn't getting the same quality of sleep unless he gave me more. So I went off of it for 90 days, Klonopin, and switched over to Xanax. I finally called him up. I said, let's go to Xanax. I've never been on Xanax. And we started with 2 milligrams because that's what I was taking with Klonopin. So far, I've already told you how I've handled that. Um, I'm sure there's 100 other ways to deal with sleep. I bought a book the other day from the Dollar Tree about fix your sleep. I'll give you this: don't eat don't eat anything after 5 hours before you go to sleep because your body's got to digest it, and that'll keep you awake. So 5 hours before you sleep, don't eat. Also, as you already know, you don't want to drink caffeine unless you just have a coffee in the morning or a Coke in the morning. You already know caffeine's going to keep you asleep. I don't, that's pretty well known. Now, I, I gotta tell you the truth, I have eaten right before going to bed, even recently. Like cheese, hot dog with sauerkraut, and didn't have any repercussions this time. Was able to sleep, but I knew what was happening. Your body cannot digest it and break it down if if you if you eat that quick before you sleep. So if you're into losing weight like I am, don't eat anything after 5 hours before you're going to go to sleep. Okay, this Diet Coke, caffeine free. I'm not sure if it's doing damage to me or doing good to me. Okay, we talked about sleep, and I may just make this a sleep video. I don't have a title for it yet. But I will say that some people say that if you're looking at a TV or a let's just say a Kindle book, that it will disturb your sleep and may take an hour or two extra to go to sleep. So anything that you're watching before going to sleep, it's best to wait a few hours before you go to sleep. Now, having said that, I break that rule. I'll be reading a book, whether it's a regular printed book or if it's on Kindle or iPad. I'll be reading it until I start feeling like I need to turn off the light. So I break my own rules, but I'm just sharing this. What else can I tell you about sleep? Definitely don't eat your supper before you go to sleep. It's one thing to eat a snack like I said I did, but it's another thing if you eat a full meal. It's not going to be good news for you. Um, I usually eat around 4 o'clock. And then if I do have a snack, which I won't tonight, uh, it may be it may be an hour before I go up and take a shower and go to sleep. Try to go to sleep. Well, let me rephrase that. I say trying to go to sleep. What I do is I read something inspirational. I'm pretty much into wellness, spiritual type books, spiritual specifically, um, Christianity type books, and I buy my books from eBay because they include postage most of the time, and that's ebay.com, ebay.com. If you buy it off Amazon, they usually add quite a bit of postage on the same book if they have the same book. I hope this has been beneficial to you. We've gone how many minutes here? Almost 20 minutes. And I didn't intend to spend the whole time on sleep, but I thought it was appropriate. You can let me know what works for you. You can let me know what helps you sleep. And I will try to answer, respond to